It's Monday, January 8. In the headlines, opposition's shadow cabinet shuffled. Jamaicans share their vision for the country this year. In business news, new St. Anne housing scheme faces opposition. Regionally, LEAT is set to conclude its current phase as LEAT 1974 Limited. And in sports, JFF's new board to be announced soon. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson says his team is working to improve the public's perception of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF. He shared the vision while speaking at his annual devotion on Sunday.
We are finally getting to that position where, as a force, people are starting to ask us to support them in ways that they never did. Some of those ways are not even really core business of policing, but we're becoming that go-to organization when you have a challenge, when you have a problem, when you want knowledge, you want information, go to the JCF.
He says the JCF is undergoing a program of modernization and transformation, and the success of this push for change depends on the individual actions of each officer.
The interactions that we have, you fly the flag of the JCF, you determine how we are all seen. Remember what I said, it's how do we make the people we serve feel? Do they feel safe?
He notes that each officer should be aware and make use of the network within the JCF so as to effectively carry out his or her duty.
And every one of you here, our youngest officer in the room, can plug into this thing called the JCF, that wherever you are and whatever you're faced with, it plugs into this entire organization, and this organization plugs into all aspects of Jamaica and Jamaican life. So every single constable, from the most junior one, has this whole network that supports what you do.
According to the police commissioner, the work being done is part of the policy direction of the government to enhance the fight against crime and violence. Member of Parliament for St. Andrews Southwest, Dr. Angela Brown Burke, is taking over as Foreign and Regional Affairs spokesperson from Lisa Hanna, who has indicated that she will be stepping down. The move is one of several changes made to the shadow cabinet, which was announced on the weekend by opposition leader Mark Golding. In the new lineup, former cricketer Wavell Hines is now in charge of shadowing the Labour and Sports portfolio. Dr. Alfred Dawes will be the spokesman on health and wellness, replacing Dr. Maurice Guy, who is retiring from Parliament. Natalie Nita Garvey, Member of Parliament for St. Catherine North Central, is slated to resume shadow responsibility for local government. Mr. Golding says each shadow minister will be supported by a team including deputies to be named at a later date and shadow cabinet appointees. Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Floyd Green, says efforts will be made to rehabilitate more farm roads in East Portland in the upcoming 2024-2025 financial year. The minister made the commitment following a tour of several farms in the parish recently, where he assessed the impact of recent heavy rainfall on mostly banana, plantain and coffee farmers in the Rio Grande Valley. Heavy rains at the latter part of 2023 led to an estimated $274 million worth of damage to the agricultural sector. Motorists using the May-Penta-Williams Field leg of the East-West Highway will now be able to traverse free of cost until March 31. Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced the extension of the toll-free period in a statement last week. This extension grants the public an additional 3 months of toll-free travel on this new segment of the highway. This decision is intended to provide more time for ongoing negotiations between Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited and the National Road Operating and Construction Company Limited, NROC. According to Mr. Holness, the government plans to further extend the highway to bypass Spur 3 within the next 5 years, continuing its commitment to improving Jamaica's road infrastructure. Jamaica ended 2023 with a positive economic outlook. Plans are being implemented to improve the country's education system, and new laws were added to the books to protect the most vulnerable. Several social improvement initiatives were announced, with some aspects already being implemented. However, the country continues to face challenges in these and other areas. Our news team took to the street to hear what Jamaicans would like to see happening in the country this year.
What do you want for Jamaica in 2024?
Well, I wish the best for all, best. And I wish all the killing to stop. And, people more unite together and unite in peace and love.
Boy, right now, for real now, the crime, that I like change, and see food price, oh God, man, that wicked. Because they drop a little price there for the people, or they drop price 30 and 20. So want the food price. That's true. Want the food price.
Right, so we'd like the crime rate to drop. We need more improvements in our instructor them, and we need more respect and manners and principle love. United we stand, divided we fall.
What do you want to happen for Jamaica in 2024?
Well, we just want the crime and the violence to just stop and the whole of Jamaica just live peaceful and done, you see me?
Well, we want the production to go up some more, like businesses, the small businesses, like the manufacturing businesses, they need loans and stuff, to get the manufacturing going. May the Prime Minister talk about him want increased production. So that's what he needs to look into. He needs to look into supporting small up-and-coming manufacturing businesses. You have some people, they make products, and they've been operating in their homes for how many years because they cannot get any financing. So businesses need financing to grow Jamaica.
What we want for the country is more infrastructure so the youth them can get more job. The payment system can be more better so the people them can take care of them bills and deal with them supposed to deal with. That's all I want for the country. And maybe decrease the crime and all of the things that we are going and the corruption in the country.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. China Harbour Engineering Company, CHEC, is seeking approval for the building of 800 new homes in a gated community in the Miami Bay area of St. Ann, comprising over 740 acres. However, there are 3 groups opposing the development. The land in question houses the Roaring River, Little River, Roaring River Great House, Miami Bay Great House, and Taino and Red Ware indigenous cultural settlements. The Jamaican indigenous Red Ware culture dates back to AD 650. In addition to the environmental and indigenous groups, the lands also house the home of the grandfather of national hero Marcus Garvey. The main contention with the CHEC development is that it will result in extensive removal of vegetation and excavation of the land, which may result in the loss of habitat and greenery. Further, environmentalists say that the lands contain key water source for the parish of St. Ann. The project still requires planning approvals, which includes public consultations. Dr. Marlene Street Forrest, Managing Director of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, JSE, in speaking to the media, notes that the JSE expects the lowering of interest rates over the next 2 years to allow investor interest to return to stock market investing. Investors have turned to the fixed returns of rental income from real estate and fixed deposits, given the increase in interest rates from 2% in 2018 to the now 7% as at the end of 2023. The steady increase in interest rates has led to 4 years of decline in the overall performance of the JSE since 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. That said, for 2023, investors in Siboney, ISP Finance, and Trans Jamaica Highway stocks enjoyed over 90% gains on their money. The Jamaica Stock Exchange, JSE, is encouraged by the acceptance of the direct market access platform, which allows access to the Canadian stock market. Dr. Marlene Street-Forrest, Managing Director of the JSE, noted to the media that QMax Wealth Management and Barita Investments Limited are the two brokers that facilitate Canadian stock trading. For 2024, Dr. Street-Forrest notes that the JSE will be on a drive to add more brokers to the platform to allow more Jamaicans access to the Canadian market. Since July 2023, there have been 154 accounts open to allow Jamaicans to trade in Canada. JMMB Group Limited has advised that Mr. Sean Moses has been appointed Country Chief Executive Officer for JMMB's Group Trinidad and Tobago operations effective January 2, 2024. Mr. Moses will also maintain his role as Chief Executive Officer of JMMB Bank Trinidad and Tobago Limited. Caribbean Insurance Brokers has advised that Ms. Shirley Bridgman has been appointed Chief Executive Officer effective January 3, 2024. During trading on January 5, 2024, the top advancing stocks covered the manufacturing and real estate sectors on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Berger Paints Limited shares advanced 17% to grow by 95 cents to close at $6.70 with 5,000 shares traded. Paramount Traded Limited shares advanced 13% to jump by 18 cents to close at $1.57 with 14,057 shares traded. 138 Student Living Jamaica Limited variable preference shares advanced by 12% for a climbing price by $13.83 to close at $133.83 with 145 shares traded. Now on the declining side, stocks that traders experienced on January 5, 2024, the top 3 losers covered the media, manufacturing, and distribution sectors. AMG Packaging and Paper Company Limited declined by 16.67% for a drop in price by 65 cents to close at $3.25. Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances Limited declined 13% as 25 cents came off the price to close at $1.67 with 7,810 shares traded. Radio Jamaica Limited declined 9% or shaved off 14 cents to close at $1.45 with 217,000 shares traded. Over to the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Trading activity for January 5, 2024 on the first tier market registered a volume of 198,000 shares, crossing the floor of the exchange valued at 2 million Trinidad and Tobago dollars. Prestige Holdings Limited was a volume leader with 62,000 shares, changing hands for a value of 573,000 TT dollars, followed by Massey Holdings Limited with a volume of 48,000 shares being traded for 211,000 TT dollars. Moving from the money moves investors, executives, and companies are making on the regional stock markets, we turn to the Forex market. On January 5, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $10.5 million was bought from Forex traders, while $15.8 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $153.94 and bought the US dollar for $155.57. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.63, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar sold. Canadian Forex traders earned a profit of $8.43 from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $118.81 and bought for $110.38. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $8.80, selling the British pound for $191.04 and buying it for $199.84. In the world of banking and relationships, your credit score is your financial passport. And here's why it matters more than you might think. Number one, trust and reliability. A strong credit score showcases your financial responsibility. 2, loan terms and interest rates. Ever wonder why some people get lower interest rates on loans? A stellar credit score can unlock favorable terms, potentially saving you thousands in interest. Premium banking perks. Elevate your banking experience. A high credit score might qualify you for premium services such as waived fees, special rates on savings accounts, and exclusive benefits tailored for financial savvy individuals. And mortgage approval ease. Planning to own a home? A good credit score streamlines the mortgage approval process, making your journey to home ownership smoother and more affordable. Remember, your credit score is a dynamic reflection of your financial habits. Consistent, responsible financial behavior is the key to boosting and maintaining a high credit score. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed. Stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, after nearly half a century of operating under Caribbean government ownership, the 67-year-old regional carrier, LIAT, is set to conclude its current phase as LIAT 1974 Limited. More from TTT News.
The court-appointed administrator for the cash-strapped regional airline says the airline will wind up its operations in its current form on January 24th this year. In a letter to staff outlining the latest position of the Antigua-based LIAT 1974 Limited on Thursday, Seaforth wrote, "After careful consideration and evaluation of the present operations, a decision has been taken by the court-appointed administrator to permanently cease all commercial flying operations as of close of business on January 24, 2024. He went on to add, as a result of the foregoing, you are hereby notified that your employment with LIAT 1974 Limited in administration will be made redundant effective February 4, 2024. The move is expected to result in more than 90 employees being made redundant without any payment and a promise that obligations will be met. The airline is owned by the governments of Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Barbados has been identified as being among 3 CARICOM states working to introduce a regional ferry system. The announcement was made by President of Guyana, Dr. Ifran Ali, during a contract signing event for a new $35 million Mackenzie-Wismar Bridge in Region 10.
Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana and Barbados has formed a joint company that would work to the introduction of a ferry system for passenger and cargo between Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana and Barbados. That will open up massive opportunities.
Once operational, the ferry will transport passengers and cargo. In Guyana, the Public Service Ministry has revamped its training division and intends to offer tutoring in Spanish this year. With an increased focus on helping citizens learn the foreign language, Minister of Public Service Sonia Parang on Friday announced that the ministry will be moving to teach every public servant's basics in language. Meanwhile, another 2,000 persons will benefit from information technology. Speaking at her ministry's end-of-year press conference, Parang says this training will be done in partnership with US-based online course provider, Coursera.
We're now partnering, and what we're going to be doing is it is scheduled to start around March, right? And it will run for just about 16 months or just about there. And this is where we will advertise. Persons would be able to apply through an online process. And Coursera has their requirements for the program as well. So, but it is to ensure that public servants, again, we're taking a course of development as well as modernization. So we want to be able to have public servants not be left back because you're dealing with the public and you're also having to do so much online that we are kicking up the ICT training as well as the different programs. It's not mandatory, but I mean, we encourage persons to be able to do it.
In sports, on Sunday, votes were being tallied to elect new members for the new board of the Jamaica Football Federation, the JFF. PBCJ understands that Hanover FA President Sheridan Samuels maintained his position. There are currently 19 members of the JFF Board of Directors, with a need being identified for restructuring. As a result, 8 of the 13 parish presidents must give way to a reduced board of 11. 6 of the 11 positions will go towards the JFF president, his 4 vice presidents and 2 appointed members. Another 4 members will come from the parishes through a confederation election, of which 2 members have already booked their tickets. Time now for some news on the action going on in Tier 2 of the Trinidad and Tobago Premier Football League, where Central Soccer World met Police FC at the Edinburgh 500 Recreation Ground. We have more from TTT Live.
Central Soccer World and Police were goalless, and with the fans calling for a goal, Simon Joseph delivered to give Soccer World the lead, as they held a slender advantage heading into the break. Police came out looking for the equalizer, and their captain, Cleveland McPhee, was only denied by the gloves of Dejavan Archibald. The lawmen were then awarded a penalty, and this time McPhee made no mistake to level the scores at 1. Police custodian Theon Brown would pull off a save at his near post to keep the scores even, as Soccer World went in search of the lead, before doing well to keep out another goal-bound Soccer World attempt. Police had a flurry of chances late in the game, but the goal to take the lead eluded them. 1 or the scores would finish as Police and Central Soccer World shared the points. Kent Fuentes, TTT Sports.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you so much for watching.